Hi, my name is Sharina Ifill, and the purpose and focus of this analysis is to look at the life and the work of Marvin Gaye and his album What's Going On, and to see the significant contribution that he has made to the musical landscape and how it's impacted the world musically. So we're looking at the performance techniques and the musical elements of the album. And the first thing is the beats. The beats are driven by the drums and the percussion of the album, and especially the congos, which really give it a distinctive sound, because he fused all different instruments together with the congo that wouldn't usually be with them, but he fused all the different instruments together, and that gave it its distinctive beat. The time signature is in 4/4 time for most of it, and that's one of the elements of it. Another thing is in terms of the dynamics of the song. He made a really good use of like the crescendos and the decrescendos and the intensity. Also, in terms of the texture of the song, he used a lot of polyphonic textures where he would sing one melody on top of another melody, and also he would use harmonies to accentuate like hooks in the songs. Another thing that he used was the arrangement and the pitch. It was basically a mid-range song for most of the songs of the album. It was basically a mid-range where he would just let it flow one into another, and he would the modulations and the key changes in the song would be so subtle and so smooth that they would all be part of the arrangement, and that really gave it a signature sound because of how he did it and what instruments he used to do it. The technology used in this album was basically your basic session microphones and your mixing board and all the recording devices, because it was basically done like a session band or a session rehearsal where they would just record it being done all together, and then they would add the BVs on top of the BVs, doing overdubs or other tracks on top of each other. Another thing that they used in this track was the use of the synthesizer at the time, and especially in the track Mercy Mercy Me, which became one of his hit singles. You would hear it at the end. It sounds like if people are singing in an operatic voice, but if you continue to listen to the end, you'll realize that it's actually a synthesizer that they're using, and we're gonna let you hear a little of it now. Stylistically, this was the turning point for Marvin Gaye, where he was singing more the Black Frank Sinatra style ballads into his own style of music. And he had moved from singing ballads to fusing the different genres like jazz, classical, R&B, and bringing them together, and blues, and bringing them together to create the sound that we hear on What's Going On. And the other thing that he has done was that he lyrically he released it was a very socio-political album at the time, and as a result his tone was very unique at the time, and it was different to what he had done in previous albums. So you will hear a little of it in this short clip.
So you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. In the meantime, right there.
Stylistically, Marvin Gaye's album What's Going On has moved from previous albums where he used to sing more Frank Sinatra style ballad into coming into his own style, where he fused together like different genres like jazz and blues and classical and soul at the time, and he brought them all together to create his own song. In addition to that, the other thing that was characteristic was the content of the lyrics. Lyrically, it was very different, where he was very socio-political, even environmental at the time. And the third thing was where he used elements of is a blues style element where you would have a call and response. So like in what's going on, and also where he would also in Save the Children, you can also hear that call and response. So that was really good in that scene. Marvin Gaye, one of the things that he contributed to the world of music was where he was able to take what was going on and really express these social issues into something to make it beautiful, as was said in a former documentary that was made around his time. And I think that was one of the important elements of his music and the contribution that he has made. Another thing that he did was that he came up with the concept album where one song would flow into the other, and he also did it in his live performances. The key influences in Marvin Gaye's life at the time were first his brother Frankie. He was deployed to Vietnam at the time, and he used to write him letters, and that really spurred him to write about what was going on in the world, because he was also a vet. Marvin himself was a vet also, and when he came back, he was appalled at the political and the economic situation, the pollution and everything that was happening environmentally, and that really affected him. But I think the thing that affected him the most was the letters that he received from his brother, and this is just an excerpt from it, where he said in an interview, he said, in 1969 or 1970, I began to reevaluate my whole concept of what I wanted my music to say. I was very much affected by the letters my brother was sending me from Vietnam, as well as the social situation here at home. I realized that I had to put my own fantasies behind me if I wanted to write songs that would reach the souls of people. I wanted them to take a look at what was happening in the world. So just that excerpt, really gave us an idea as to what really motivated him. Another thing that influenced him was the situation at home, and the third thing I think was his father. They always had a rough relationship, but I think it really caused him to write some of the lines that he did write in the album, and we know how it ended with his father eventually killing him. But I think that was one of the things that influenced him, especially in this album, of what was going on in his life. After the release of his album, Marvin was able to influence a lot of different genres, not just popular music at the time, but also R&B and funk. Another thing that he influenced was, or person that he influenced was other artists, such as Michael Jackson, Smokey Robinson, and Stevie Wonder. And we'll show you a short clip on how he really impacted on him and how he really influenced him.
What's Going On was recorded. Another Motown star left Detroit for New York, looking for a new sound and a new direction. Now 21, the former Little Stevie Wonder had come of age. Inspired by the example of Marvin Gaye, he now took unprecedented control over his music.
Are you healing, praying, feeling what you say?
Marvin Gaye, he was such a legend and a pioneer in his day, and his work will continue to go on. He really encouraged artists to produce their own work, to be free to work outside of the box, borrow from different genres to create something that was even better than what had already existed. And he was a pioneer to include different things like social issues and political and environmental issues, and he even inspired other artists like Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder and other young artists that were in his day, and even artists today. And we celebrate 40 years this year, and Marvin Gaye. His work will continue to go on. Thanks for watching.